From the very first Land Rover ever made, which the Queen herself drove, to opulent car brands like Rolls-Royce and Daimler that became synonymous with royal opulence. There's even one car that average people drove that Princess Diana turned into an icon. So, let's rank every vehicle in The Crown, starting with Queen's Rover. Even though the show is absolutely filled with classic cars, none can even come close to the 1952 Land Rover Series 1. And the reason we placed it so high up in the list isn't because the car was so iconic or ahead of its time. It's because of who was behind the wheel. Imagine the newly appointed head of the British royal family, Queen Elizabeth II, the ruler and protector of the realm, behind a car fit for a military general. That's why we chose this car. The 1952 Land Rover Series 1 is a symbol of British resilience and rural royalty. When Queen Elizabeth II took the wheel of her green Series 1, she smashed that like button, just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, by driving this car, the Queen was embodying the spirit of post-war Britain. Originally designed in 1948 as an agricultural vehicle inspired by the World War II Jeep, the Series 1 quickly became beloved for its ruggedness and versatility. The 1952 model featured an 80-inch wheelbase and a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine producing around 52 horsepower. It might not be much by today's standards, but it was plenty to conquer muddy estates and highland hills. With its aluminum body and simple mechanics, it was nearly indestructible. The Queen's frequent use of the Land Rover cemented it as a national icon, and it became a machine that blended monarchy with mud. But how can we talk about the Queen's car and forget about Prince Philip's, or, pardon me, Duke Philip's, drop-head coupe that he jumped in and out of on his way to the Gentlemen's Club? 1956 Lagonda 3-liter Tickford drop-head coupe. He'd hop over the front door, carrying bottles of champagne, and they'd ride with his friend and secretary, Lieutenant Parker, to the Gentlemen's Club for some, well, let's not spoil too much of the show. Prince Philip's 1956 Lagonda 3-liter Tickford drop-head coupe perfectly captured his mix of sophistication and mechanical curiosity. Unlike many royals who preferred being chauffeured, Philip loved to drive. His Lagonda was custom-built to his exact specifications. He ordered it with a front-seat telephone, a radio, and even a writing desk that folded out from the dashboard. Mind you, this was decades before luxury tech became standard. Powered by a 3.0-liter inline-six engine producing about 140 horsepower, it could reach around 110 miles per hour. A remarkable feat for a hand-built Grand Tourer of its era. The car was designed by David Brown's Aston Martin team, sharing DNA with early Astons and clothed in a graceful aluminum body by Tickford. Philip drove the Lagonda regularly during the late 1950s, often spotted behind the wheel with the Queen by his side. Too bad it led to some shady dealings in the Gentlemen's Club that almost cost him his marriage. But hey, you can't drive around in a slick car and not mess up some things. And it seems like his son Charles had a similar taste in cars. Charles's DB6 Volante Series 2. The Aston Martin DB6 Volante Series 2 wasn't in The Crown, was a statement of royal style. Prince Charles actually owns the same car in real life, a 1969 DB6 Volante. Queen Elizabeth II gave it to him for his 21st birthday. It became one of the most famous royal vehicles, not just for its elegance, but for Charles's deep personal connection to it. The DB6 Volante featured a 4.0-liter straight-six engine, producing around 282 horsepower, capable of reaching 150 miles per hour. Its long bonnet, wire wheels, and soft-top design made it one of Aston Martin's most beautiful creations. In later years, Charles famously had the car converted to run on surplus English white wine and whey-based ethanol. Thus, he turned a classic into an eco-icon. It's the prince's favorite car, so we had to feature it. Just like we have to feature Princess Diana's love for Audi. Diana's 1994 Audi 80 Cabriolet. In the mid-1990s, Diana was often photographed behind the wheel of her dark green Audi around Kensington and the streets of London. So, naturally, the producers of the show wanted to capture Princess Diana's love for Audi's design through the 1994 Audi 80 Cabriolet, and they did it absolutely flawlessly. The car itself featured a 2.3-liter five-cylinder engine producing around 133 horsepower, paired with front-wheel drive and a smooth automatic transmission. Its clean lines, soft-top roof, and understated luxury made it both elegant and approachable. Two qualities that many people often ascribed to Diana herself. At a time when royals traditionally favored British marques, her choice of a German convertible symbolized independence and a break from royal convention. The People's Princess made the Audi 80 Cabriolet iconic simply by being seen in it. But she wasn't all about the glitz and the glamour. She wouldn't have been the princess of the people if she didn't drive a car just like everyone else. Humble Austin Mini Metro. Princess Diana driving around in a humble Austin Mini Metro is like Kate Middleton driving a Toyota Camry. It's basically the people's car. Before she became the world's most photographed woman, Lady Diana Spencer drove an Austin Mini Metro. And yes, she really owned one in real life, not just in the crown. In the early 1980s, before her engagement to Prince Charles, Diana's red Metro became an unlikely symbol of her down-to-earth nature. The car itself was introduced in 1980 by British Leyland as a successor to the original Mini, aiming to modernize small car design for a new generation. Her version featured a 1.0-liter four-cylinder engine producing around 45 horsepower. The car was simple, efficient, and perfectly suited to city driving. Now, if you or I drove it around town, no one would notice. But the fact that Lady Diana Spencer drove the Metro, it became iconic overnight. But don't think for a second that Princess Diana had only humble tastes. She loved her 1987 Jaguar XJS V12 Cabriolet. 1987 Jaguar XJS V12 Cabriolet. The XJS, Jaguar's luxury grand tourer, was powered by a 5.3-liter V12 engine, producing around 295 horsepower, paired with either a manual or automatic transmission, allowing it to reach a top speed of about 155 miles per hour. Its sleek, aerodynamic lines, long bonnet, and soft top roof made it both sporty and sophisticated, a fitting choice for a princess known for her modern style. Diana's ownership elevated the XJS Cabriolet into a symbol of 1980s glamour and independence, showcasing her willingness to embrace cars that reflected both performance and personal flair. But none had more flair than Prince Philip's MGTD. MGTD. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like the video so far. In the early 1950s, Philip was often seen behind the wheel of his cream-colored MGTD, zipping around London or Windsor Castle grounds. And that's why we saw Matt Smith in the Crown cruising around in style. Produced between 1950 and 1953, was the quintessential British sports car of its time. It was powered by a 1.25-liter X-Pag inline-4 engine, producing around 54 horsepower, with a top speed of roughly 77 miles per hour. Built on a strong but lightweight chassis, it offered superb handling for the era, earning a cult following among driving enthusiasts. For Philip, a naval officer and car lover, the MGTD represented freedom and engineering precision. His ownership helped elevate the car's image from a hobbyist's roadster to a symbol of post-war British sophistication and royal enthusiasm for motoring. Similarly, Princess Margaret did the same thing to the Wraith. Margaret's RR Silver Wraith 2 WLWB, 1980. Princess Margaret's 1980 Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith 2 LWB in the Crown is the perfect reflection of her opulent, rebellious spirit. And for those of you wondering, yes, she actually owned the same model in real life. The Silver Wraith 2 was the long-wheelbase version of the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 2, built for those who demanded more space, refinement, and exclusivity. Beneath its stately design was a 6.75-liter V8 engine paired with a smooth 3-speed automatic transmission, delivering effortless power and a whisper-quiet ride. The LWB model added 4 extra inches of rear legroom and featured deep lamb's wool carpets, walnut veneer trim, and the unmistakable spirit of ecstasy on the bonnet. Margaret's choice of the Silver Wraith 2 was elegant yet bold. While it wasn't as famous as the Queen's official state cars, Margaret's Rolls embodied her flair for luxury and individuality, cementing its place as one of the most iconic and personality-filled royal cars of the modern era. But none could beat the Queen when it came to fancy cars. Queen Elizabeth II's Rolls-Royce Phantom 6. Throughout the Crown, and in real life, Queen Elizabeth II was often seen behind the wheel of some of Britain's most elegant and capable cars. Then there was the Bentley State Limousine, custom-built in 2002 for her Golden Jubilee, an armored masterpiece blending modern engineering with royal tradition. Earlier in her reign, she also drove the stately Rolls-Royce Phantom 6, a car so exclusive that only 374 were ever made, reserved for heads of state. The Daimler DS420 limousine was one of the British royal family's most beloved cars. Some even called it a true icon of understated grandeur. Introduced in 1968, the DS420 quickly became the preferred state car for formal occasions, weddings, and official visits. Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen Mother, and other senior royals regularly used it for decades. Each of these cars reflected a different chapter of her reign. The Phantom for early royal prestige, the Bentley for enduring modernity, and the Daimler for opulence. And speaking of Daimler, there was another iconic car from this car brand, Thatcher's Daimler Sovereign. Gillian Anderson was not only memorable for her portrayal of the Iron Lady, she was also extremely memorable for her Daimler Sovereign. In 1966, the Sovereign was Daimler's flagship executive car, combining traditional British luxury with modern performance. It was powered by a 4.0-liter or 4.2-liter inline-six engine, producing between 165 and 185 horsepower, paired with a smooth automatic transmission, offering both power and refinement. Its long wheelbase, plush leather interiors, and polished wood trim made it ideal for a prime minister who wanted to command attention without unnecessary flash. Thatcher's use of the Daimler Sovereign became symbolic, a statement of strength, discipline, and decisiveness, just like her style of leadership. Unlike overtly ostentatious vehicles, the Sovereign exuded quiet confidence, reflecting the gravitas of the office. Over time, the car became an icon of 1980s British politics, forever linked to Thatcher's persona, and remembered as a vehicle that carried power and authority with unmistakable British elegance. And of course, thanks for watching! Here's another video car enthusiasts loved watching.